love and your support. May God bless you. Amen. Now, if you want to cut a straight pencil skirt, you have to determine the length of your skirt. That's number one. Then number two, you have to know the circumference of the waist and the hip. But in today's video, I'm going to use paper to demonstrate to you how to cut a pencil skirt. So this is the paper we are going to use. So if you are to use your fabric, you have to fold your fabric into two this way. And for you to know the length of the fabric that you are going to use, you have to mark your hip yourself. Put your tape measurement at your hip area. Whatever the measurement is, that's what you are going to use to cut your fabric. If your hip measurement is 40 inches, so you have to divide 40 inches by 4. That will give you 10 inches. Then you have to add between 2 to 3 inches to it. So that means you are going to cut 13 inches. The width of the fabric you are going to cut is 13 inches. And again, you have to determine the length of it. So if you want the length to be 20, you have to mark 20 straight. So what I mean by 13 inches is like this. Is this way. So your fabric has to be 13 inches here or more than that. It depends on your size. The length, what I mean by the length is to know the length of your skirt, how long you want your skirt to be. So if you want it to be 23, 28, 30, so this is the length and this is the width of your fabric. Now you have to measure your waist. After knowing your hip measurement that will enable you to be able to cut out your fabric, then you have to measure your waist. So you have to ask somebody to do that for you, or you can as well do it yourself. So in today's video, the waist of the fabric we'll be working with is 38 inches. You can see and half an inch line here. That will be my starting point. I continue, I will have to know the length of my fabric as well. So I'm going to start under the starting point. So the length of the skirt I will be working with today is 20 inches. So this is the length of my pattern, is 20 inches. So I will have to mark 20 inches. Though you can see 22 inches here. So the remaining 2 inches will be for seam and sewing. So I will mark my 20 inches here. So that's where my leg skirt will be. So I'm going to make a straight line across it. For it to be accurate, you can as well measure this as well. So 20 inches, you can see is okay. So I'm going to draw a line. So this is where my skirt is going to stop. If you want your skirt to have band, so you have to measure it as well. What you are going to use to measure the band is your waist measurement. So like I said, my own measurements I will be using here today is 38. All you have to do is to add 1 more inches to it. So that will make it 39 inches. Then when you cut the width of your fabric that you are going to use for the band, for the waistband, is going to be 39 inches. If your waist is 40, you have to cut 41 out. But the waist I'm working with is 38 inches. So I have to add 1 more inches to it. Then, and again, you have to know the length that you want your band, waistband to be. So if you want it to be 2 inches, so you have to mark 2 inches out. But because it's going to be on fold, that means you are going to cut 4 inches out for your band. So the length of your band will be 4 inches and the width of it will be 39 inches, 40 inches upward. But if you want your band to be 1 inch on top of your skirt, so that means you are going to cut 2 out of it. You know, when you fold it, when you cut 2 out, you fold it, it will be 1. That means you are going to use 1 for your skirt waistband. Now let's continue. I will take my vertical measurement. Vertical measurement means from your waist, because we are sewing skirt, you have to measure your waist to your hip. So I'm going to mark 9 inches. I'm going to make a straight line 9 inches straight line. That's from my waist to hip. So this is my waistline. I use it as my waistline, the starting point. So to hip is 9 inches. You can see it, 9 inches. After doing that, I can mark my waist measurement. So the waist measurement is 38 inches. 38 inches divided by 4 is 9.5. This is 9.5, but I'm going to add 1 inch to it for that. So that will be 10.5. So that will be 10.5. So here is a 10.5. Then I will add 1.5 inches to it for seam and sewing. So here is it. I will come down to the hip measurement. So the hip measurement I will be working with is 40 inches. So 40 divided by 4 is 10 inches. So I'm going to mark 10 inches here. This is 10 inches. Then I'm going to add 1.5, the allowance that I make here. I will have to add it here as well. 1.5 for the seam and allowance. After doing that, I will have to connect my line together. But before doing that, I will have to take my bust span. We are going to make a dart on the skirt. My bust to bust is 8 inches. So I'm going to divide it by 2. 8 inches divided by 2 is 4 inches. So I will mark my 4 inches here. Then I will mark half an inch on both sides. This is half an inch on both sides. Half an inch here, half an inch here. Then I will come down by half an inch here as well because of the turning down here. So that's the half an inch. Now I will connect the half an inch. I will connect it to the waistline. So the next thing right now is to connect the side together. Going to connect it together. Now I will come down here, the bottom of my skirt. I'm going to transfer the hip line measurement to the down part. So we have 11.5 inches here. So here we have to deduct 1 out of 11.5 that is there. So that will be 10 inches. So I will mark my 10 inches here. Then I will add the seam and allowance to it as well. So I'm going to connect it together. So I will have to connect it down to my seam and allowance space. Our skirt is nearly done. Now I will have to determine where my dart will stop. I want my dart to stop at 6 inches. Yes, 6 inches. I will connect it with the half an inch on both sides that I've marked here. I'm going to connect it to this now. So that's where my dart will stop. So I'll take it up. I'll bring it down to join the 6 inches that I have marked. So the next thing right now is to cut out our skirt. You can see it is very simple to make. It is not hard. So we're going to do the cutting. So if you are watching this channel for the first time, kindly subscribe and turn on your notification bell for you to be notified whenever I upload a new video, so that you won't miss out. Then you come up the hip, so you cut it out. Come here. Then here, I'm going to notch it. Give it a small notch. So that's the notch area. If you want to sew the dart, just fold it in this way and sew it. This is your dart. So that is it. So you can see it. But if you want to cut your waistband, like I said, the length of the waist I use here is 38 inches. So you will add 1 inch to it for seam. So the length of your waistband has to be 39 inches. This is it. If your waist is 38, you have to add 1 more inches to it. So that is why I measure 39 here. But if your waist is 40 inches, you have to add 1 more to it. So that means you are going to cut 41 out. And if it is 41, you have to add 1 more inches to it. So that will make it to be 42. So this is how your waistband will be. So you are going to use your waist measurement to cut out your waistband. Then you will add 1 more inches to it. So after doing that, then you will now fold it this way. You know, it has to be on fold. It has to be on fold. You have to do it this way. And you place it on top of your skirt. You take it to the machine and sew it round. If you want to cut the second part of it, all you have to do is to place this first pattern, the first panel of it, that is the front part of it. You place it on it. Then you will have to leave 1 or 1.5 inches behind. You have to leave this gap behind. Leave 1.5 inches behind for the zipper allowance. If you want to insert your zip on it, so you will have to leave 1.5 inches behind for the zipper allowance. Then you will now cut it. You can now cut your skirt out. So if you want to sew, you just sew it. You sew it straight down. You know, I left 1.5 inches for the seam and allowance, so you can use it to sew. Then you sew it, so your skirt is ready. So it is very, very simple to make. So here is it. Here is the front part. So it's more hard to make. It is very, very simple. Thank you. Till I see you in my next video. Bye.